Welcome to day 55 of the Starting a Software Company in 100 Days project. Today I'm going to give you a update on the progress we've made over the last week and update the revised scope of the project that I had laid out a few videos ago. And so it'll be a little bit hard to see and I won't play the video, but received a video from our developer who's working on the primary MVP. A lot of design tweaks need to be made here. Definitely, yeah, a lot of design tweaks need to be made here. So I'll just leave it at that. Not in the final form, to say the least. But with that said, we got a lot done. So over the last week, we finished this due date refactor that took task due dates and changed them from fixed dates to being contingent on other things. So one, how many days after the project or the process has been initiated, we have that built. Number two, how many days after one of the other tasks had been completed. So we have that due date refactor done. We have all of the form components built. You can add multiple choices, you can add drop downs, you can add checkboxes, you can add file uploads, you can add like even a almost like a little mini grid where you have multiple rows and multiple columns of checkboxes, file uploads. And so we got all that stuff done from a UI and a backend perspective. And then now we need to go in and we need to sync we need to rehandle how we do some of the task management. So, what happens if a user checks a task, but then they don't have all of the required fields completed? How do we handle that? Do we allow users, what's the behavior that once a task is completed? Should we allow them to go back into the task, edit things, change things? And so we're working through a couple of those edge cases now, but now we're going to start tying together and building our dynamic. Let's see if I can find it here. We need to build this dynamic process list and build the filters associated with this process list. So filtering by template, filtering by user, by tag, just a really flexible filter mechanism, along with making these dynamic. So with that, I was going to jump back into this spreadsheet here to show you the scope of things and where we are at versus when I laid this out a few days ago to you. And so we're done with these. So I'm just going to strike these through. I've struck the 31 estimated completion days of development. So we're looking at 24 business days left. I'm just going to add another day of cushion for UI design. So 6 days there. So that brings us to 25 business days left, 5 weeks. That's 35 calendar days. Today is August 23rd, 2019. So if we had 35 calendar days, that takes us out to September 27th. And this is the 100 days date, October 7th, 2019. And so we're progressing along nicely. This dashboard build is what's next. So I'm just going to throw that up. I'm going to throw that up here. And then the other thing that I've been doing, I'll show you quickly, is if we go over to Basecamp, I've been continuing to fill out a to-do list of a lot of the little changes that need to be done. So for instance, I added one today: remove boxes from task titles and descriptions. And so if we go back and look at our video here, where it says first task and then the description, like these have been set already. These are part of the template. those should just not, those look like they can be edited. So just an example of a small UI change. We need to make that more of a completed state there, just to freshen up the design. It looks confusing on should the user complete that or should they not complete that. So that's just one of the many, I would say 50 probably smaller tasks that we're going to have to complete here over the next 4 to 6 weeks. So yes, we are making good progress. We have definitely some cushion here. I think we're probably going to run right up against the deadline. I'm going to start working, bringing in another resource to build the sales site probably mid next week. And yeah, things are tracking along. We're going to have it looks like we're going to have a product that is going to be used. Might just be used by our team for a few weeks, but with that said, we're making progress, building, in a relatively quick, dynamic fashion, building out a usable, well-tested, modern piece of software. And frankly, it's just a lot of fun. And so with that, just want to wrap up day 55 with the update on where we stand on the Playbook project. And next week is a big week. If we can finish this dashboard build within 3 days, that will be great. Because eventually we're going to run into some stumbling blocks here. And so if we can keep the more things we tick off the checklist, the more risk that we take out of the project. So with that said, I'm going to leave you with a quick update of dragging our web app down here a little further on the hill chart. And the marketing site's going to go up here because I have a good direction there, and I'll talk about that more in the next couple of days. With that, I'm kind of rambling here, but we'll wrap up day 55 of the Starting a Software Company in 100 Days project. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for following along.